نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي وربنا زدنا علما. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So today, yesterday we finished our ayah in which we talked about Maliki Yawmiddin. We talked about Allah being the owner of the Day of Judgment, and why would Allah use the word owner, and what does it mean when somebody is the owner of something, right? Okay.
What about the ayah before the Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim?
Yeah, we did that yesterday, and also we did that before when we were doing Bismillah Rahman Rahim. So we touched that yesterday as well. So inshallah, when you'll have the recording of yesterday's session, you'll be able to see that. So, okay, so what is important when somebody is a owner of something? What privileges that somebody has when he's the owner, he or she? Yes, Ahmad?
When you're an owner of something, you have to take care of it.
Awesome, good
like
job.
for example,
Mm-hmm.
I have these Marvel characters, Funko Pop characters thingies. I don't know what they're called, but
Okay.
I take care of them because they're for a board game. Also, and because I own them, I have to take care of them, or else I might break it.
Right. Absolutely.
And we don't want that to happen.
Yes. And when it comes to Day of Judgment, it simply means the entire day. Like, so for example, you own a day, for example, like, you plan for the day, right? If you are the owner of the day, you are the main person of the day, you're going to plan for it, right? Nobody else will be planning for it. You will be planning for it. Okay, who else? Miral also raised the hand. Miral?
Yeah. If you're an owner of something, you have to take care of it and make sure, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's one thing. What's another important thing, Zara?
You have to be responsible for that thing. For example, let's say you have a dog and that dog, let's say, eats a bird. You're responsible for that dog and like how it got in trouble. So you basically since Allah is the owner of the day, he's responsible for it for the day.
Right. Okay. Miral, you have something else to say?
Yeah. When you're the owner of something, you have to take care of it. You can't just for example, if you take it to school to do some research, you can't just leave it there because who knows, maybe when the janitor cleans up the classroom, they might take it.
Yes. So yeah, that we are going around the part where we are responsible of something that we own. But how about me owning something and somebody else? Do we allow somebody else to make decision about something that I own?
No, and also I have something else to say. When you're also the owner, you also, let's say you create the day, like Allah SWT created the day of the judgment, right? Let's say you create an art piece. For example, you would make the art piece, make some changes and just leave it, right? But for Allah, when he made the day of judgment, he did it, but he didn't leave it. And he's waiting for the day and stuff.
Yes, that's also a good point. Ahmed?
So Allah owns the day of judgment. Yeah, but basically, if you own something, you have to take care of it. And if you own something, you also have to keep it in a safe spot. But for Allah, since it's a day, Allah doesn't really have to do anything because Allah's Allah.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. So there are a few other things, few other points that I was looking for those answers, which we talked about yesterday. Number one, when somebody owns something, that person is responsible to making all decisions about that thing. If I own something, whether I break it or keep it, it's up to me. Nobody can ask me what I did. Did I throw it or am I keeping it, right? Other thing is, I will not allow anybody else to make any decision about my thing. So if I own a pen and somebody breaks it, if I break it, it's okay. But if somebody else breaks it, that's not okay. Right? So similarly for here, when Allah says he owns, Allah makes all the decisions. When will it be there? Where will it be there? Like, will it happen on the earth, on the sky? Where will it happen? Can somebody else make that decision? No, Allah has the decision. When it's going to happen, people don't even know that. Only Allah knows when it's going to happen. So all these decisions Allah makes. And then nobody is going to have a say on the day of judgment. The thing that we should always remember is that only Allah is the decision maker on that day. Only Allah is going to do justice on that day. Nobody else is allowed to even speak until Allah allows. Okay. Yes, Ahmed, you have a question?
Actually, I have a comment.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, since Allah owns that day,
Mhm.
Allah chooses everything about it. Like
Mhm.
when it's gonna happen, where,
Hmm.
like 5 W's, if you know what those
Yes.
are. Do you know what the 5 W's are?
What, when, where, why?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's a very good point. That's right. So since Allah owns, he decides and he knows. So he has the decision power and he has the knowledge. Okay, very nice. Okay, next we started this ayah, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Okay, so I want all of you, as always, I will say the Arabic and I want you to say the English translation. Iyyaka.
Only you.
Only you.
Na'budu
We
We
worship.
worship
wa iyyaka
And
and
only
only
you.
you
nasta'in.
we
We
ask
ask
for
for
help.
help.
Okay, one more time. Iyyaka
Only
Only
you
you.
na'budu
we worship
Worship.
wa iyyaka
and
And
only
only
you
you.
nasta'in.
we ask
We
for
ask
help.
for help.
Okay, again. Iyyaka
Only
Only
you
you.
na'budu
we
We
worship
worship.
wa
and
iyyaka
And only you.
nasta'in.
we
We
ask
ask for
for
help.
help.
Great. Okay, so we did the first part of this ayah when we said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you said only you before he said we worship. He did not say we worship only you or we worship you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said only you we worship. And when this form of sentence, it shows exclusively, like we worship exclusively Allah. We worship nobody but Allah. And we were talking about this thing yesterday where we stopped that how easy or how difficult it is to worship only Allah. So let me ask somebody who was not there yesterday. Riz?
Yes.
Okay. So, this is kind of a promise that we are doing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, we are only going to worship you and no one else. Do you think it's an easy task or a difficult task?
It should be like easy because like you could like praise somebody like we saw in the first ayah, but like to worship only we can do that Allah. So it should be easy because we play 5 times a day for that very thing.
Hmm. Okay, you think it's easy. Okay, who else? Sumaya? Do you think it's an easy thing to do, worshiping Allah alone and nobody else? Sumaya, you're on mute. Okay, can you unmute yourself and talk?
She said something in the chat.
Yes, I saw that. That's why I'm asking her if she can unmute. If she cannot, it's okay. Okay, let me ask somebody else. Mahnur.
I think it's easy.
Okay, you think it's easy? Okay, so I gave an example yesterday that one thing is worshiping is what we really see, what is very, very obvious, like praying 5 times or fasting. Yes, that is the worship, and we believe that we are doing for Allah alone. But how many times during prayer we wander here and there and we start thinking about something else? How many times does this happen? Does it happen with you? Happens with
Yeah.
me all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes.
Yeah, you're praying, you say Allahu Akbar, and then you start thinking about the game that you're playing, or the video you just watched, or the book you were just reading, right?
Yeah.
That moment, instead of worshiping Allah, you started worshiping who? That game that you were playing, that was there on your mind. So you just lost the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how easy it is to stay focused on the prayer and only think that I'm standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not going to think anything else. If I talk about myself, it's very difficult. It's not easy. No matter how much I try, I do, go somewhere else.
So if you're thinking about yourself, you're basically worshiping yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And if you're thinking about like a video you watched or a picture you saw, you're worshiping that.
Exactly.
Because
That's my
you're
point.
saying like you're saying that like if you think of Allah, you're worshiping Allah.
Right.
While praying the namaz.
Yes.
If you think of something else while praying the namaz, you're not even worshipping Allah anymore. You're worshiping something else.
Absolutely. So
It's
again,
like,
my
it's
question
not
is,
like saying you
isn't
don't,
it?
it's
Yes.
like saying you don't care about like Allah and praying.
Right. Absolutely.
You would
So
rather
in other words,
talk about something else.
right. So in other words, it is as if we started worshiping whatever was on our mind. We started thinking about, so we were not exclusively worshiping Allah. Of course, we were worshiping Allah. We were not worshiping somebody else. But the being exclusive part was missing. So our worship was not perfect. That's what happened. And that is only one, example. There's so many other examples. Sometime we help somebody, and we were supposed to help somebody only for the sake of Allah. But we told a few people, hey, you know what? I helped that person. That person was so hungry. I felt so sorry. So I helped her. That moment when you told somebody else about your good deed, your exclusive part got missing. Now you did not do it for Allah. You did it for showing off, maybe, right? So my point is sometimes.
Bragging about it.
Say that again, Riz?
You're like bragging about it.
Yeah, you're bragging
and you're not
about
like being
right.
like actually kind about it.
Right.
You just want to do it so you can brag to everybody that you help somebody.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what happens is, point is, in order to worship Allah exclusively, who can help us in doing that? Yes, Ahmed?
So the person the thing that that can help you do that is actually yourself. I'm pretty sure because it's your fault you thought of this and that technically. So in your scenario where you said that you help you helped someone then bragged about it. If you didn't brag about it, you do then you do that for Allah and not just to brag about.
Right. Miral?
Ahmad's correct. It is your fault that you're thinking about it. But maybe before you start reading your namaz, maybe try to focus on your namaz instead of thinking about what happened before.
Right. Zara?
Okay, back to your bragging thing. Let's say, yeah, let's say you were helped out a poor person and you felt bad for it. Let's say you were doing it to show off at that time and you're thinking in your mind, oh, I did this, now I'm gonna tell all my friends. Now, you don't tell your friends, but you still have that in your mind. You're still not doing it for Allah. You're just doing it to like show off.
Right.
But at the start, if you help them, and you said it and you did it for Allah and really didn't brag, then it's for Allah.
Yes. But my question was, which Ahmad and Miral answered, that
Yeah, I was getting to
how
that.
can we get help in order to not do this?
Answer that.
And yes, you should work on it, but believe it or not, Allah can help us in worshiping Allah alone. And that's exactly why we say this part. So we promised Allah that Allah, I'm going to worship you alone and I'm not going to worship anybody but you, but I need your help. I can't do it. It's not possible. It's not happening. I try every day. I try to focus on my prayer. It's not happening. So while you are in your namaz and you are actually saying this, Iyyaka na'budu, Allah, I worship you alone and I need your help. Got it? So in order to become better Muslims, in order to worship Allah in the best possible way, nobody and absolutely nobody can help us to do that except Allah himself.
No, that's also like the last part, and only you we ask for help.
That's right.
And that would work with that.
Yes, absolutely. So, okay. Let's go to our next ayah from here. And if you have your Quran open, let's write down the translations. Ihdina. Ihdina means guide us. Ihdina, guide us. Sirat means path. Al-Mustaqim, straight.
So guide us to the straight path.
That's right. What's the spelling of straight?
S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T.
Yeah, it's GHT.
No, you switched the A and I.
Yeah, that's what I did.
It's S-T-R-A-I-G.
Got it. Yep. No, I got it. Okay, and
wait, so this ayah means guide us to the straight path?
That's right.
So you kind of like switch straight and path.
What did I do?
When in the actual when you split the words,
yes.
Wait.
No, that's because that's what the words.
Yeah. When you split the word, when you put these words together, it kind of some of the words in the meaning switch around.
Yes.
To make it a proper sentence.
Yes. So
that's why it says guide us the path straight.
Yes. So that's not how you're going to read it when you read the whole translation. That's what the word-to-word translation is. So I will do the word-to-word translation, and then we can read the what do you call
full sentence
translation as well. Because whether you translate in any language, it happens. The words are sometimes switched, And sometimes we have to add some helping words as well, because those are not part of the sentence. Like, for example, I just used the word to here. To is not there anywhere. But it's not going to make sense if I'm not going to write to. Guide us the path straight. It's not going to make sense. So the translation is guide us to the straight path. Also, another thing missing here is we are calling upon Allah. We are saying, oh Allah, guide us to the straight path. That's also missing because it's understood. It's not needed. But that's also something that we keep in mind, that we are asking who? We are asking Allah to guide us. So we asked for help. Remember, just before we asked for help. And then we asked Allah that guide us to the straight path. Okay, so what is a straight path? Like, okay, what is the opposite of straight path?
Narrow path.
Yeah.
Narrow path,
Say that again.
like narrow path.
Like a path that's narrow.
No,
I have
not
another
narrow.
one.
Narrow
I
can
have
also be
another one.
straight.
I have an.
Like-
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah, say
It
that.
depends what part you're saying.
Okay, one by one. One by one.
Since the straight
Guys, raise
path,
up your hand.
since the straight path is the like good path to Jannah, it would be the wrong path to like say like to hell, the hellfire.
Okay. Also, let's see here. Okay, as straight as I can make it. This is a straight line, right?
That's really straight.
Okay. Point A and point B.
Oh,
I still reached B, but that was not a straight path,
Oh, that's so colorful.
right?
Yeah, it's like the path from like A is like this world, Earth, and then B is like the afterlife, and the straight path is gonna take you to Jannah, but the crooked path is gonna take you to hell.
Awesome, Riz, very nice. Okay.
But you're still gonna get to the afterlife anyway.
Yes.
It just depends where you're going.
Okay. So the important thing is here what Riz said. Everybody's supposed to go from A to B. We don't have a choice. Whoever came this world has to go back. So yes, we started, like, for example, you need to take a flight, for example, right? Which flight are you going to pick? The shortest, right? You don't
You're
want to
gonna-
take the long route, or you want to go anywhere, like from your home, you want to go to the restaurant or anybody's house.
Yeah.
Now you search on your GPS and it's going to give you like 3 different options. Which one are you going to pick?
I would pick the shortest one.
yeah, the
shortest one.
shortest will be the best because it's
Yes.
quickest. And in this scenario, it's the best path.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Because-
Because
those
the wrong path is like Shaitan's path, and all Shaitan's gonna do is just make your life harder, and it's gonna put you in like it's gonna make your life harder. So that's
And
it's gonna be longer.
Okay, what else do you see here? Okay, this one, the red line is from A to B, it's straight, it's shortest. What else do you see what the other one, the rainbow line, does not have?
A straightness.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
it's more
there is-
shorter. It's more shorter because it doesn't the straight. It's more shorter because the long one, it's like squiggles and it goes and it moves up and down, and so that creates like more space and like more.
Deviated, right?
Yeah,
Wandering
I don't
here
know
and
what-
there.
yeah. I don't know
Hmm.
what deviated means.
Also, probably the squiggly line, the rainbow one, it could be like yeah, I was gonna say kind of like it's like
Interesting.
even though you could just go to the afterlife like straight out, just like worship Allah, do everything, the Shaitan is gonna make you not like want to go to Jannah, and he is gonna want you to go to hell. So he's
Yes.
gonna make your life harder by giving you making you do all this stuff, and it's going to end up becoming problems for you later in your life.
Yes, and so those things are like, for example, again, time wasting, where you get too occupied on things that were not needed. You got distracted, like deviated, and I can say distracted.
Is deviate is wait, one question. Is deviated, what does deviated mean? Is it like a good thing or a bad thing?
No, deviate means like, for example, you're going on a highway and you took a turn just to see something. You deviated from the path. You went down the highway and just to check out something. That is deviation. You were going on the straight line, but you got away from it. Yes, Miral, you were saying something?
Forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, all right.
I was gonna say, this is kind of like when you're taking a test. When you like study, the test should become really easy for you, and that's gonna be the straight line.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't study, and the day of the test comes, it's just gonna be harder for you. So you're gonna like waste time on it, and you're gonna probably have to redo the test again. Or maybe you're gonna have to go to summer school.
Yeah.
Like spending a good summer.
I think Riz got a very good example. So let's take an example of an exam. So when you are doing your exam or a test and you're on a time, what do? Don't you want to do all the questions that you know that are easy first? And
yeah, but
like for example, if your test is on your iPad, do you go and watch YouTube on your iPad while you're on time?
No.
No, because that would just be wasting time.
Yeah, Rohan just said, I got one of my best grades on a test I didn't study for. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, while you're doing the test, you don't waste time, right? You don't go here and there. You are focused. You're focused on the test and nothing else, because that is the things on your mind. So when you want to go from one place to another, you don't stop here and there until you reach your destination. Yes.
So if you do stop, let's say you're studying for the test, but you have like 2 weeks. So you study a quarter of it, or like something like that. Then you go around and just have fun. Then the next day you study the next part. You do this again until you finish studying.
Right.
But you know what happens? You'll probably, since you stopped in between, you probably forgot like 3 parts of it. But if you did it all in one straight path, it'd be easier to remember because you're kind of like,
yes,
it's just
but the
easier
thing is,
to remember.
Yeah. Okay. Are we running out of time, Ahmed? So here, that's a good point. But the thing is that sometimes these breaks are important. Why? Because sometimes we need to refresh as well. So those are actually part of our life. So for example, Allah does not prevent you or prohibit you from relaxing. Do you worship all the time? We don't, right?
No.
We enjoy as well. We spend time with family as well. We relax, we laugh, we have fun. Yes, we should not be doing things that are harmful. But other than that, we play games. We have fun. So all these things are important so that we don't get bored. And, just like you gave an example before, when you're preparing for our test, sometimes we take breaks to refresh ourselves. And yes, that's important too. That's part of it. And that's fine. Okay, so inshallah, we stop here and we will do our last ayah tomorrow, inshallah. And we will finish the surah and probably we'll talk about lessons that we learned from the surah. So be prepared, all of you, with the lessons. I will ask all of us to share a little bit of whatever you learned and what are you going to practice inshallah, from now on? And what are you going to tell your parents or anybody that you want to share that, okay, this is what I learned? Okay, so inshallah, we're going to finish the surah tomorrow. Jazakallah khairan for joining. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.